guys, we finished up the entire engine cradle this week and it came out fantastic.
Holy crap. Excellent.
That's not bad. They're so nice.
Oh my God.
It felt a little wonky at first. Like it felt like it needed to be like closer to this, but happy. Happy, happy, happy.
What are we doing today?
The Booze Cruise redesign. We are gonna be working on the engine and transmission, getting that mounted, and starting to build the rear diff onto it.
Use your legs, not your back.
I know.
Great job, babe.
Thanks. I entirely used my back. This is kind of how the diff, engine, and transmission are gonna be laid out. We have the engine right here with the CVT. Primary clutch will spin the secondary clutch, which will give us a gear reduction inside the transmission and give us high, low, and reverse. On the back side of here is where the chain is. This chain's gonna come down to a jack shaft. That's gonna sit in here, which can give us another gear reduction if we need it to. And then from there, we will have a dual 260 chain to the input of the differential. So, come over here, Chi. The problem with the differential that we have currently. This is a 0.75 inch spline shaft, so it's relatively small and it's 19 splines. Talked to a couple machine shops. Getting something to adapt onto these splines is gonna be kind of a pain in the ass. So the plan is I'm gonna pull out the shaft, have someone turn these splines off to make it a 0.75 inch shaft. Then I will take this 1 1/4 inch shaft, have it bored out to 0.75 on this side. It will slide over top of this. I'll give a nice weld there. And that should then give us the ability to put on the sprocket as well as some bearings and then bolt it to this housing. And that will give us our chain drive input into the golf cart differential. Moving forward, we are just gonna work on starting to build the engine mount and transmission mounts and get them square to the differential.
Looks great.
Thank you. I know, I think it looks pretty good.
It fits perfectly.
Well, there's nothing else around it yet, so it looks really good right now. Cut off 2.5 feet, just so it's easier to. What happened?
Nothing, I just don't like that.
I do.
That was so loud, and then pieces hit me in the head.
Big loud?
But I'm happy you're happy.
All right, let's go figure out this bend now.
Good.
These depressions in here, I'm surprised it did that.
Is it gonna be too, that won't be that weak, right?
I don't think so. I think it'll be okay. How flat do we make this bend? Whoo-wee! That's not bad. It's like 1/8 of an inch.
So it didn't twist.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's just me being good at my job.
Excellent job.
So I wanted to drop 1.5 inches in height. So that means I need to take 1.5 inches off from here, right? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We've got this piece and this one. So put this down here. Perfectly notches into place and makes a nice 90 degrees here and all that stuff. And then the second one is gonna go right here and up to where this blocking is right now. Once I weld this on here, I'm gonna release this and then we'll put the other piece on and then we'll do some measurements. But I think it's gonna be like bang on perfect, which is fantastic. I want to make sure they're kind of beefy, these tacks, you know?
A beefy boy.
A very beefy boy. That looks really good. The table is like a game changer.
I can already tell.
Like it is, it's unbelievable.
I just don't know how you would have mounted that entire thing on this little table.
Okay, so there is some flex in the frame, but it's literally just 2 pieces of tube, and that's why we need to add this a third one that comes around here.
Yeah.
but that's gonna be fine. We're gonna make it plenty strong.
Holy crap. Excellent.
That's not bad. We took the pieces out, so let's see if they'll like
it's level.
perfectly level. Okay, so there's some droop in it. See how there's the arrow down on this
Yeah.
side? So 0.3 degrees.
But the reason why
So,
there's droop is because
Just
it's
because
so much heavier
it's
on
so
the
much
right
heavier on this side. So like
yeah. So adding that third tube
cross
is
member
going
is
to
gonna
help.
be, yeah, exactly. And we need to, you know, because this is where our axles are gonna come out over here. This is where the axles are gonna come out over here. So there's gonna be framing back here too. Like this isn't just gonna float in space when it's actually done. This is it's just floating right now. So we've got a bunch of parts here. Thank God, I'm very excited. First off, we've got the wheel spacers that we need. Got some sprockets, but most importantly, we got the brand new wheels for the Booze Cruise. I haven't seen them yet. I mean, obviously I saw them online, but like.
This is the first reveal.
First reveal, I'm very excited about these. I actually don't remember what they said the size, what the size was. I don't remember now, but this is way bigger than what I thought. This is huge.
Oh my God.
This is ridiculous. Look at these things. Oh my, look at the knobby tires.
Oh my God. Oh, those are sick.
They're so nice.
Oh my God.
Look at that. Look at this.
Are you so excited? Those are awesome.
Compared to a
That's
little bit of an
crazy.
upgrade.
That's crazy.
Look at that. So this is 22 inches and this is 30 inches. That's 8 more inches of diameter.
Yeah, it's a crazy difference.
That's
It really
huge.
is. So I get that they look cooler and they're obviously bigger, but like, is this going to affect the way that the Booze Cruise actually like runs and performs?
Yeah. So it'll affect a lot. Mostly it's going to change what our speeds are. So like the bigger the tire for the same RPM, the faster you're going to go. This tire, because it's much bigger, traces out a much larger distance that it travels every time it spins than this one. And if they both spin at the same speed, then this one's going to be taking you faster. What that does though, is it makes you lose torque. So you get more speed, less torque. The way we're compensating for that, because we're using the same engine that we did with these tires, is we're getting more of a gear reduction in our differential than we got with our chains before.
Okay.
So we're not gonna, we're giving the engine more leverage before it gets to the tire. So we're gonna keep the same top speed.
But it'll have more power.
Yeah, but it'll keep the same torque. Okay, so we just got this part back. This is the input shaft to our golf cart differential. And this is the 1 1/4 inch shaft that we're using for our chain drive. 2 sprockets will sit on here. They'll pick up this chain. This goes in here. It is a nice tight fit, so we're gonna hammer that into place, put a nice weld on this, weld these plug holes, and I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. We'll put this back into the differential and then we'll start mocking up all the bracing to make it possible for our input. Mark that real quick. Follow me! All right, let's go see how the tubing notcher works.
Very cool, baby.
Wow.
Let me see. That looks so good.
I know. Oh my God. Wow.
That just did wonders for you.
That was $60. I'm such an idiot. I wasted so much time. If you were grinding any tubes, just go and buy that notcher and a good drill, and that saves so much time. I'm such an idiot for that. When I bent this tube right here, I couldn't get a tight enough bend to make this a proper 90. So it's like a little bit off. So that means that this notch is gonna be like on an angle like that instead of perfectly 90 also. So I need to figure out what angle that is.
We're eyeballing.
So we need to take this angle and make it so that's in line with the drill. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you see here?
Yeah.
So when it's flat, it's like that. So we need to turn it on an
Okay.
angle. That looks pretty good. Oh my God.
Perfect.
Look at that.
Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good.
Yep.
You're right. It looks so much better with it in line.
Yeah, it needed to be.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have one that goes from this corner to that corner.
Okay.
Isn't that gonna look so cool?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be perfectly like slipped into that.
And very strong.
Very strong. So I'm honestly not sure how to do this. I know a 45 has got to be
Notched on
this angle and that way.
angle.
What we'll do is, let me mark at midpoint. All right, I think I've got it set up correctly. Should take out that bottom section on a 45, so let's see how it works. So let's see what it looks like.
All right.
I think it's gonna be good. It's good. It just can't fit underneath there because of this
yeah.
part's not notched either.
Okay, well that looks good.
There's a gap there, but
Fill it with welds.
I'll be able to fill it in enough. It's gonna be okay. I know that that's a pretty big, juicy boy, but
That looks really good.
yeah, just focus on that part.
It's looking fantastic.
Right? It's
Neither
looking
did I.
really good. I mean,
It's looking so good.
yeah. So we just bought a CNC plasma cutter. It's over in the corner, and this was the first piece I cut with it. It came out really good. It's the first time ever actually using CAD and creating a piece. I've designed so many pieces
And
all
you
through
did
school.
so good.
Thank you. I can do another one before we leave today.
Yeah, I want to see how it works.
Yeah, I think we should because I want to attach the axles onto here, and I need to cut a piece out for this bolt pattern, so we can do that. So this morning when I did this piece that came up like this, I wasn't super thrilled with how it looked, but now that I've added like the cross pieces, these bearings, and like this piece, now I think I like it.
I think it looks really good. I
think it
like
looks
the bend
cool.
in it.
I
like how it comes out.
It felt like there's a lot of empty space here, but now that I've got like this bracing,
Yeah.
it feels better.
Yeah.
It felt a little wonky at first, like it felt like it needed to be like closer to this.
Is that the axle?
It is.
Thanks. I don't know why I said thanks.
Because you could hear the surprise in my voice when I said it is.
Like you were proud of me.
Yeah. You knew exactly what it was. Okay, so modeling this part in CAD is pretty easy. Really all I did was I took the dimensions of the outside of the axle, I made a square to those dimensions, and then I took another measurement of each of the bolt holes and I put another square inside of that one. At the corners of this inner square, that's where I'm going to put the bolt holes because that's where they are. Then I do the radius of 0.45 because that's about the size of the bolt that's going to go through there. And then I do the opposite of an extrude. I cut that material away and I go around and do a 0.5 round on all of the edges to make it nice and pretty, just like my engineering teachers taught me to. So that's our part right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so cool. Oh my god. That's amazing.
You know how much time that saved me just now? And because I need to make a second one of this, so I can just click
That is
copy and
amazing.
paste. That is huge. That is a game changer. This is the plate that we just cut out with a plasma cutter, and then this is a spacer that I just made from cutting another piece of tube. The reason we need that is these are the brake drums from the golf car, and we're gonna use them as the connection to our axles. The axles need to sit up against there, but the problem is that the axle protrudes out of it, and so to get around that, we're gonna use this spacer. So the spacer is gonna go on here like this, then our plate will be welded to it, and
That'll be connected to the axle.
this will be connected to the axle, and it'll go through the holes that mount to the drum brake. It'll turn it all into one single unit, and it'll all spin together very nicely. And so we'll weld that up and see if we can find some bolts and see what it looks like. Look how wide it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then the tire's gonna be like right here. And then we're gonna have rear steer. Okay, so we have this thing sitting on the ground for the first time with our tires and Miata axles in place. I wanna show how well this powertrain works and show how crazy of a gear reduction this is. So when I'm spinning this, you can see the chain moving here, up to here, and then into, I think it's 7-to-1 gear reduction inside the transmission. So you can see the tires barely inching forward. All right, guys, we finished up the entire engine cradle this week for the Booze Cruise, and it came out fantastic. We have a 8.5-foot wide rear axle and 30-inch tall tires that's gonna take us anywhere on the property. Next week, we're gonna start working on the upper and lower frame rail, so that way we can also work on our upper and lower control arms. So like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.